I believe that I am meant to be a nurse practitioner. It is not only my favorite, but the most challenging role that I've ever had. But one of the greatest challenges of community health is that we have complex problems, and limitations of resources and time make it really difficult to prioritize and actually feel like you're making progress. What was tremendous for me was getting the space to work in the school-based health centers, because all of a sudden we had some of the most vulnerable and highest risk patients, but we actually had the space and resources to really move the dial. In particular, a lot of the kids that we're seeing at the school-based health centers have a very sensitive response to overstimuli and sensory triggers. The school-based health center is more therapeutic in design. School is also being identified with healthcare in a way that I think teaches a lifelong important message about safe space for our kids, both at school and with our healthcare providers. And so we have kiddos that are able to come in and have that continuity and also have a little bit more time and support to hash out some of the very sensitive and triggering often topics and health things that we have to work through. The fact that that health center has their therapist, and for a lot of the kids, their teachers all in that same building, is the most stable place in a lot of their lives and realities at a really critical, formidable chapter in their life. One particular patient that really impacted me was actually a day that this kiddo was not on the schedule. I was at an elementary school-based health center at our Orchard Elementary Clinic. We received a call that an 11-year-old female was having serious suicidal ideation, and her teacher had recommended that she needed to be taken to the emergency room for an evaluation. Mom was called, and Mom was very anxious, largely because of her own experience with the medical system and her own medical trauma, that the emergency department could cause harm, that the larger healthcare facility could lose control or put her child in harm's way. Mom really wanted what was best for the child, and so in reaching out to the clinic, when she learned that there was a school-based clinic in an elementary space, Mom felt more comfortable with that, and within the hour of her calling RiverStone, she initially was not willing to take the child to the emergency room, but said, yes, I do feel comfortable coming into this school space. We sat down, and over the course of an hour, which again, when does any healthcare provider ever have that time and that space? I believe it was a real gift. We answered her questions, and great questions, reasonable questions about what does it mean to have an emergency department triage for mental health? What sort of choices do I have as a parent? And also do a safety plan. And I do believe that the fact that at the end of our conversation in the school-based health center, the fact that Mom was then willing to take her to the ER, she was admitted, and I believe that that was a really critical turning point in her safety. She's also continued to follow with us, so she came back to that space, and she knew where it was, and felt much more comfortable in a very anxiety-inducing space of mind to have the physical space that made her feel safer. That sort of work, it energizes me, it gives me a lot of hope, and it really motivates me to serve the higher risk population that we do.